What up, everyone? Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30-plus year video game enthusiast and industry analyst, and today from May 30th, 2025, I'll jump into the latest gaming news, what I've been playing, etc. Hey, morning, Ultronomus. Yeah, that is exactly that music from Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and it was really cool because I love the menu music in Seed, Destiny, Battle. Gosh, because it's Gundam Seed. But there's a show called Gundam Seed Destiny, but this is called Gundam Seed Battle Destiny. I don't know. Anyway, it has some excellent menu music. So the other day on YouTube, I just searched, video game music playlist, and I didn't want to put classic. I remember I wanted it to be of all eras, and it was great when you hear menu music you haven't thought about in such a long time. Oh, I saw something that looked cool. We'll look at that in a second. And just some of those tunes are great, like that one from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So anyway, so yeah, today's Friday. My week was really, when it came to gaming, was really kind of just riding off of that high of going through and completing Seed Destiny Battle Remastered, whatever it's called, and making the video for Gundam Explained. That was a lot of fun. And I've realized I like doing this with games where sometimes I don't like to do it. And it's those special releases where I'll sit there and play all weekend. And then a few days before and after, especially if it's just a 20-hour game, it's almost like going on a little trip, a little vacation, I like that. Hey, Chris, good to see you in here. Okay, so some other things I've been up to. I've been playing more of that, and I'll actually show it off here. That Gundam, the 3D battle, and again, I love, thanks Ultronomus, how easy it is. Where you just go to edit the game, you can put the last time you played it and what your playtime is. It's so easy to do, and I was totally avoiding it anyway. Played some more Gundam, the 3D battle. After playing that demo yesterday on stream, the Massalia, Echoes of the Past, whatever. But you missed Marvel vs. Capcom 2 credits music intro mostly. And I think that song was like there's the character select song, which is awesome. And then that one I think is just when you're going through the main menu of the game. And I don't think you necessarily hear that music a lot. That's why then when you do hear it, it's like, whoa. Okay. So another interesting thing, actually, I want to get to is what I've been doing with my ROG Ally. So got this, forgot when it was. Was it 2 years ago now? A little less than that. I have the upgraded SSD in here, 2 terabyte SSD. What else did I do? I have this custom D-pad, but I actually ordered a new one that is way better. This was a nice try, but it's like 3D printed. Basically, what I got is something. Do I have the other part of it? So let me show you what I'm actually getting at. I bought this other part that actually didn't fit. Could have been user error. I don't know, but I'm getting a new one in, and it's a replacement D-pad that goes into the ROG Ally, and it has magnets in it. And what you could do is you could get. I gotta get this out. You could get the Microsoft Xbox Elite controllers, are magnets. So you can get one of their D-pads, even the round one, put it on there, and then this slides into the ROG Ally. It makes an awesome D-pad because it doesn't really have a good D-pad. So once I get that in, I'm going to be putting that in. And right now I have a giant battery in here. So yeah, another thing I did was modified this and installed a larger battery. Not that I ever really worried about it. I've never been in situations where I wasn't somewhere where I could plug it in or something, but I kind of just like, again, kind of toying with it, tinkering with it. I think it was a $40 battery. And then I had to modify the internals of the plastic casing, the back and the front, take off some plastic pieces to fit the larger battery in. And I've got that to work. I've been able to boot it up. It runs fine. Next thing really is just to get that new D-pad in there, and then I'll be off to the races. I tested out playing Battle Remastered on this, and it looks amazing. This screen is a pretty amazing screen because you can have games that are at 720, or lower resolution or 1080, whatever, and just the VRR, the way the screen looks. I have a really good Samsung gaming monitor, but I think it's just due to the size. It just looks so much cleaner. It's very interesting. We're going to be going on a trip in June, and so I wanted to have my handhelds ready for that downtime. ROG Ally 3DS, which, hey, Jim Coast, good to see you. Which I feel like having a PC handheld and a 3DS is like the best combination. I mean, sure, you could get a Switch, but it's just I like how small the 3DS is. I love the dual screen games. Okay. And then if you could emulate Switch on the ROG Ally and it would look and run better than on a Switch, which is sad. Okay. Let's jump into some news, I guess, because really, yeah, when I talk about what I've been playing, I just played a little bit of Gundam the 3D Battle yesterday. Other than that, what did I do yesterday? I felt like I was busy after work, but all right, let's jump into some news. Xbox. This is earth-shattering for me, on many layers. Xbox puts handheld console on hold. Microsoft reportedly still plans to create a handheld Xbox device, but has put production on hold to improve performance first. Oh, okay. I'm glad I read further because that is a really cool reason to hold off for a second. I love the performance on the ROG Ally, and we saw the leak that it's pretty much a ROG Ally with handles. And to me, that would be fine. I use this to play Xbox games already. But I got to say, I like that idea because this tells me they can see where they can make performance in 100%. Between the time they announced and started R&D on the handheld and now, there are AI tools in place that can help them quickly get to where they needed in a more cost-efficient manner to have a more powerful console. I guarantee that's the type of stuff that's going on. And the AI is in the workflow pipeline in places you don't expect. It's not like it's generating things in order to, pass off his work. It's more like just within the workflow pipelines, whether that's development. I'm sure they came across something like, hey, you know what? I feel like we can actually get more power out of this. So, although I could be making all this up and they actually explain it. So let's see, because Jez Corden of Windows Central claimed that an Xbox branded handheld was scheduled to launch later in 2025. And that's when we saw the leaks. Following up on his early reporting, Winter Central, Jez Corden claimed Microsoft still wants to build its own Xbox handle in the future. Microsoft decided to prioritize its team to improve Windows 11 gaming performance, specifically for devices. So then I think this still is in line. You can still have a ROG Ally that's branded Xbox and not be the Xbox console, but this allows them to work on optimizing Windows 11 gaming on a handheld without having to, which is the complaint a lot of people have, which I don't have. It's just you throw out a console and it's like, oh, it's just Windows. So that's the thing. I grew up with Windows. So if you give me a handheld with Windows on it, I know exactly what to do. But I think there are people that didn't grow up with Windows and they grew up with a Switch or, a console or something. And so they're like, oh, but when I play my game, I just want to launch into it. The biggest complaint has been the Windows interface, which I don't get. But if they are using that data and they're able to determine, yeah, there are more people out there that don't understand how to use Windows on a handheld, then I have to admit I'm probably in the minority. And so, yeah, if they have to take time to do that, I feel like, again, this is Xbox being cool. Let's see. And then let's move to this. I don't understand what this is actually trying to say. Apple prepares to cry wolf over gaming again. Gaming on Apple platforms is set to be a WWDC focus once again, but with the company increasingly pushed to open up its app ecosystem, maybe this time the wolf is real. A lot of good points going on here, actually, now that I read that other part, because when I went through here, it was really hard to understand. I talked about yesterday how they acquired a developer to get more games out there. They're platform is pretty open to emulation, which is pretty interesting. And I don't know if they were doing that to seem like they were cool so then they can stop Epic, but they couldn't stop Epic and they tried to. And so I guess what this article is getting at is, what is Apple trying to do with gaming? And is it where they want gaming on their platform, but they don't want it to be from another publisher? Because again, going back to Quake, or not Quake, I'm sorry, Doom 3, and then Resident Evil 4, they would come out with these versions specifically for iOS. So it's like Apple's always been there with gaming. So here's the other thing. Apple fans will adopt things. They haven't adopted gaming. I don't think Apple fans are gaming fans. Just because we've already gone through a few generations of Apple gaming trying to push mainstream gaming and it just doesn't work. Because, and this is something I talk about here a lot, the mobile market and the video gaming market are completely different. When I say the video game market, I would say the PC console handheld gamers have a separate market than people that play mobile games. The thing is, there is some crossover. Why? Because everyone has a cell phone. But not everyone that has a cell phone has a console. And so when these companies decide to make the game, they're like, hey, we want to make millions. So let's, it's, yeah. And with Apple, they don't have to worry about the money. So I wonder if they're just trying to figure out a way to be a source of the gaming platform. Like, do they see a future where all humans are gaming at all times? And that's why they're still pushing this? I don't know. All right. Sega says it will stop the new Virtual Fighter project if it's not good enough. So we saw with the Xbox console, it's not good enough. So they're, delaying it. Sega, this new Virtual Fighter project, pretty big deal. But if it starts feeling like it won't be good enough, we're just going to stop the project midway through. That's how serious we are about it. Couple interesting things about this. One, I feel like then here their initiative is like, let's just get a Virtual Fighter out and not, hey, here's a way we can do a new Virtual Fighter. It really comes off as just trying to get in on the, all those fighting games that have been coming out recently. But then what happened just last week? Was it last week or earlier? City of the Wolves, SNK CEO had to step down because the game didn't do well at all. And so I wonder if this is sort of that fighting game thing where it's like the fighting game can work if it works, but there is little, I don't know, a little margin where you could it just doesn't take off even if it's good. And it's interesting that they say this already about Virtual Fighter. Like, it's like, okay, then are you thinking it's not going to be good then? That means you didn't really have a plan. It's really weird. It's really weird. Sega's been trying to do better quality controls of late. Makes sense they'd openly say they'd purge if it doesn't meet their code. Yeah. It's good to say that, but at the same time, it makes me think, it's like if I was a developer, a staff member, and I was like, wait, what do you mean if it doesn't work out? Don't we have a plan? Don't we have a vision? Isn't there a thing? Because yeah, you could work on something and it not work out. But there's a difference between an IP and coming up with something brand new. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It kind of reminds me, I don't know. I really like Sega, but there's been some weird things going on. Remember they had the Warhammer franchise? Alien, like, I feel like a lot of times they get snubbed by third-party companies that they work with, and then, they'll go and do things on their own. I don't know. Sega is so weird because even the Genesis era, it was Sega of America that made Sega as big as it was. And it was Sega of Japan that killed the Dreamcast. I don't know. We'll see what they do. City of the Wolves had a few possibles for namely cost, and just from getting those two guests out of the gate. Yeah, so yeah, they put a lot of money into the marketing and it just didn't land, which I feel like if the game was going to be successful anyway, then that wouldn't matter as much. But I think it just wasn't successful, and on top of it, they spent a lot on marketing. I didn't even buy the game yet. So yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, Halo will have a big announcement later this year, it's claimed. Okay, a new rumor has surfaced that Halo Studios will make a big announcement for its Halo franchise later this year. The rumor originates from Rebs Gaming, who has a tendency to release a slew of information surrounding the Halo franchise. According to Rebs, he spoke to someone who attended the recent Dallas Open, who allegedly spoke to it. Whoa, lots of uh, misspellings in here or whatever. Current Halo Studios developer, allegedly a Halo Studios developer, said Halo Studios has a big announcement at the Halo World Championship in late October. Um, I, I thought there'd be a little bit more information on that. Okay, so what could they announce in October? And I would think it would be like a Halo 1 remaster. You know, that Unreal Engine thing they're doing, which I don't think is the best idea, but it'll be interesting. Man, that Master Chief design is awesome. Halo is really cool. They really messed it up. And it's not like Infinite is bad. It's just like there's a certain bar of excitement from a franchise, you know? And I think universally we all didn't get it from Halo, even though we feel the combat and gameplay mechanics were sound. Okay, Elden Ring Nightreign launches to mixed user reviews, which I get because it's just a multiplayer game. It's not a Souls like. Yeah, I would say it's not even a Souls like if you look at like how faster the animations are and just it's a different setup. Elden Ring Nightreign launches to mixed user reviews, but huge player count on Steam. You know how huge? 300,000 players. Let's see. Everything we've seen from Elden Ring Nightreign to this point suggests it's more of the same, but no, it's not more of the same. It's a co-op multiplayer game. And I think there's no fall damage in something. Titanic battles where every hit counts, epic scores to regulate you to regale you during. I'm actually curious, like if it does a thing where it's not called a bonfire, whatever they call it in Elden Ring. Where do you do that? Do you run around and still like get the bonfires and then go to the next one? I mean, because that is the typical gameplay. Okay, so the criticisms here are the fast-paced nature of the gameplay compared to Elden Ring's more methodical explore. Okay, so here we go. I think the term methodical exploration, I need to remember because that is the mechanic specifically that I like about Souls games. I mean, I like the combat, but I would say when I'm playing games and it has a good combat system, I need to be doing that within an environment that I really enjoy. So there's not methodical exploration in Elden Ring, and it's fast paced. So the idea is probably just to get to the enemies, fight them. No crossplay, which I had a lack of native voice chat, not being able to play with just two players. I mean, those are pretty, but look how many people are playing. But also, I bet. Okay, well, actually, no, we see it. The idea is there's so many people playing, but then you see the mixed reviews because it's not what people were wanting. Actually, let me look at it. Okay, yeah, mixed. Yeah. Um the game is literally unplayable. Well, isn't that a meme? Okay, let me sign. I did not ask for you to play. Where's this coming from? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Um, Disappointing. Okay, feels like not much effort was put into this. The Fortnite-like gameplay with time restriction and the area closing in on you is just not fitting for Souls games, in my opinion. Yeah, no exploration, no Dark Souls feeling. You just load into a mission and fighting random mobs and enemies. Yeah, and that's exactly what I got from the reveal. You know, and that's why I was never really excited about it because while that could be cool for some people, that's not, but you know, see, okay, that's the thing. It's like, but I would like to give it a try, but I'm not going to drop money to give it a try when I could be playing. When I want to be conscious about what I'm spending on gaming. Oh, here's a good one because it's huge. Whoa, oh my! The guy is saying the game is great. The new bosses are fantastic, and if you're a diehard Souls fan, of course, it's worth the buy. Oh, okay. The new music. So I can see that if you're a diehard Souls fan because the art, the music. Um, okay. No new weapons. Wow. Very little new content. Nightreign is an asset flip of Elden Ring, which was expected, and FromSoft didn't try to hide that. However, you would expect at least some new gear and enemies. So far, there is not a single new weapon, weapon art spell, or anything else beyond some minorly different starter items for characters. There isn't even the new weapons or enemies from Elden Ring DLC. The only new enemies are the day 3 final bosses. So the other 80% of the game can get repetitive. Again, I don't think anyone was expecting everything to be new. It's an asset flip, but some new stuff was expected. Although the Night Lord bosses are brilliant, beautiful, and functional fantastically in multiplayer, the bulk of the rest of the game is pretty samey. Wow. Extremely poor communication tools, overly strong encouragement for group play. You can queue solo or with 3 randoms. However, the game is pretty difficult and balanced towards 3 players, especially Night Lords. Okay. Rough experience for new players. The lack of progression. So the game doesn't have progression. That's interesting. Limited sense. There is no real progression without beating Night Lord bosses initially. You have access to very little until your first kill. Night Lords are pretty difficult to kill, so if you're a new player and not able to reliably down them, wow. Limited customization for runs, paid characters, massively inflated health pools mixed with weird pacing. Night Rain wants you to go, 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 enhanced movement and speed mixed with limited. Wow. I mean, look, this is probably fun in its own merit, but this is not what I would want to play. Like, you don't even have to call it Elden Ring Nightreign. You could call it Lord Night Abyss, and it's a adventure crafted to offer players a gaming experience by. Well, no, that even this description would not tell anyone what this game is. I don't want. I guess I don't want to hate on this game because I think it's cool that they made it anyway. But I guess this game, and I think Miyazaki has actually even admitted to it, is a cash grab. It's Bandai Namco saying, "You want to do this? Then do this for us," or something. Because Bandai Namco has sort of a hold on the franchise, and that's their moneymaker. That, or maybe a Dragon Ball game. Anyway, I would be curious to see people that I trust their opinions on, in terms of, yeah, you can like things that I don't like, but just what their thought, people I know, what they have to say about Nightreign. That's what I'm excited about. Okay. Was that it? I had this, let's see. Because I'm still fascinated by this whole thing with the Gundam game that just came out. Originally released on PS Vita in 2012, developed by Art Dink, published by Bandai Namco. No PlayStation version, despite having a very strong PlayStation audience, limited to Switch and Steam, where the Steam version peaked around 3,000 concurrent users. Not bad for a niche title, but not breakout numbers. Original dev Art Dink is known, but handled by BB Studio. Possible explanations: Nintendo timed exclusivity. Nintendo may have funded part of the remaster, similar to what they've done with Demon X Machina and Bayonetta 2 and 3, but have Bayonetta 2 and 3 been on any other platform? Demon X Machina has been on PC. Would explain why it was a Switch reveal, first reveal, and Bandai Namco gave it premium promotion during Nintendo Direct style events. That makes sense. That's the other thing too. When I saw it, it's like, what? Okay, if true, expect a timed exclusivity window, and this is what Steven of Midnight Hatter and I were coming up with, is assuming. I thought, maybe they were working with Nintendo to do a deal. And then he came up with the idea that maybe that they were helping to fund, because that is something that does happen. Switch 2 strategy. With the Switch 2 looming, this could be a soft early title for the new console, paving the way for bigger Gundam games to land there. Keeping it Nintendo PC builds some quiet momentum without overspending on marketing. Okay, so this is a cool thing to because the marketing is not that great. In fact, Bandai Namco reached out to me to help promote this game. But then it never went through. In fact, and it was just in general, they didn't do a promotion thing. Bandai Namco and Sony have always been close, but Sony's recent focus on blockbusters and live service may make niche anime titles less of a priority for PlayStation publishing pipelines. Even though, aren't they trying to acquire most anime anyway? Prediction. If this is a timed exclusivity, I expect. No, I'm reading this wrong. If this is timed exclusivity, I'd expect a PlayStation port by early to mid 2026, potentially bundled with another Seed related re-release, Seed Destiny remastered. And what is that? I don't know. AI knows what it's talking about. If no PlayStation version ever comes, that strong suggestion Nintendo did fund or co-market it behind the scenes. Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. So, if this never comes out on any other console, that almost confirms Nintendo funded it, which is actually cool. I that is a cool. When I knock down Nintendo for things they do sometimes, I would think that is a cool thing, and Nintendo historically does that. So, yeah, Bayonetta 2 and 3 are only Nintendo. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Daemon X Machina did go to PC. But yeah. Okay, so we're coming up to time, but I don't have to jump yet. So, let me actually go back to this. Let's see. So some games that I'm looking forward to because it is the end of the month. June's around the corner. Stellar Blade comes out on PlayStation next month. I think that's going to be my main game next week, and I'm glad that I'm getting the ROG Ally set up because maybe then I can test it on there. Although I think that is going to be a game I'm going to play in front of my monitor. Although I wish I could be playing it in front of my TV, but we're still having that. We don't know if it's the outlet or the TV in the living room, just the living room. Okay, but to go down here real quick, check this out. Blast Rush coming soon. This is just another shmup. It just looks pretty good, actually. Oh, there's a demo, actually. I might as well install that. I hate downloading demos of shmups because I just want to play the whole thing. So this is called Blast Rush. Here's this other one, Metal Eden. Let's look at this. All right, this is a Q3 2025. It's considered a boomer shooter, but I feel like you can't really explain a game by saying that. Because looking at this, I mean, you could just say it's a Doom clone. I mean, that's pretty much what all these games are anyway. Like this looks more like a Doom, Eternal than a boomer shooter. I guess when I think boomer shooter, I think like strictly Quake and below. But I'm seeing like a lot of cool things going on with this. This could be fun. Okay, this looks neat. This is called Abathor, and it has really good reviews. Let's see. And this came out last year, so maybe I just added it. The graphics on this look awesome. 2D side-scrolling. It looks like it's a 4-player, 16-bit quest inspired by Golden Axe, Rastan, and Castlevania 4. And it's only $15, so that's a pretty good deal. It doesn't say anything about ghouls and ghosts, even though I feel like I see that there. But that could be another one before Stellar Blade. Let's see. Let me go by release date. Lots of games I have saved that actually don't have a release date yet, but a lot of them is coming soon. Oh, so Jam Killex, you did play it. Nice. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. Let's see. Sonic Rumble. Too bad that got delayed. There's a lot of neat games in here that have coming soon. Wow, a lot. When do we even get to a release? Okay, Zombie Army VR, I think, is like super soon, right? June 12th. Okay, so that's like right after Stellar Blade. Yeah, Stellar Blade right here. Sonic Wings Reunion, guys, but $53. I just had no idea this was coming, and it just released the other day. I don't know about this amount of money. Let's see. What? Is it just the original Sonic Wings for $60? Look, I played my fair share of shmups, and 60 for this one's absolutely crazy. Yeah. I mean, I want this, but I don't know about 60. Let's see. Arcade mode training. Oh, training mode. That's neat. Oh, that's funny. It says Aero Fighters. So, oh, wait. Is Aero Fighters or Sonic Wings the English or Japanese name? Because now I'm getting confused. I guess it really doesn't matter. But man, just looking at this, it looks so cool. But I'm not going to spend 60. $53.99. Man, I'm gonna have to wait for a lower price on that. But okay. Oh yeah, there's these other two real quick, and then I'm gonna go. Another shmup, and this is Steam Hearts. Now, this I never heard of or played before, but it has a lot of mechs in it, even like 0083 looking anime art as pixel stuff, like the harsh shadows and all that. This looks really cool. This is $17.99, and let's see. So it is just one game. It's not multiple games. Story mode, arcade, but for $17.99, that's not bad. Oh, wait a minute. There's a bundle. What's in this? Oh, just soundtracks. Okay. Well. All right. So this could be a buy. And then the other one, you guys saw me play Nitro Express, the demo, and it's $11.69. So I'm trying to figure out what is my budget game going to be that I buy for this evening to play tonight. It's either going to be Nitro Express or one of those shmups. Probably Nitro Express, since this is more of a new game. Yeah. But all right, guys, it's that time. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get to work, get some stuff done, and then game later this evening. Hope you guys have a good weekend. I'll be back next week with some more. So until next time, be cool.